You look at him?
Oh my gosh.
He ripped the box?
Ang bonito también.
Yeah.
I love that he always managed to find a way to give us whatever we wanted, considering they didn't have much and they were living paycheck to paycheck.
Definitely.
My dad wanted to move to the United States to have the American dream by being a hard worker and just providing for his family. He would just make everybody laugh and just, crack jokes all the time. I remember we would paint his nails or do his hair. He would just do anything to make us happy. There wasn't much money, but there is a lot of love.
July 4th, Independence Day, Dad went to the grocery store to go get some stuff to make dinner. He did call us, just checking up on us, I think like 20 minutes prior to the incident.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, there's somebody on 8th Street kind of stopping traffic, and it looks like he's bleeding. He has blood on his shirt.
All right, we'll get somebody dispatched over there.
July 4th in the city of Pasco is never a quiet night. But as I first got this call, it started to sound like more than just a routine injury call. I turned my lights on and I increased my speed so that I could get there quicker. When I got there, I saw a man that had blood covering his shirt, and I could tell that he had multiple injuries on his face, and blood was coming out of his mouth.
As soon as I saw my dad covered in blood, I got really scared. I just didn't understand who would do this.
It didn't make me feel good knowing that someone was a potential threat to members of my community, and I wanted to ensure that he was captured quickly.
He didn't only take my father away. In a sense, he took my mother away too. I feel like we all haven't been the same sets.
He would always go to work and always talk about us and stuff and say how pretty we were. There was actually somebody that came up to him once, remember? And they were like, oh, you probably just think they're pretty because they're your daughters.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he was really proud of us. I just remember growing up in a happy family. We used to have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, we did.
My parents were definitely planning for children. I feel like when they found out they were pregnant with me, it was a little bit of a surprise, but it was a welcome surprise. He would always tell me that when I was born, he grabbed a Sharpie and he drew a little Sharpie mark on my leg to make sure they didn't switch me at birth. Very protective always. After me, Karen is born. She was born on September 29th of 2000, and then Kimberly followed right after, March 7th of 2002. Mom was so pretty. This was at her holiday work party. When she worked at the photography studio, I think. That's when she met Dad, while she was taking his picture.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think he was waiting for her after her shift or something.
Yeah, he kept saying, I'm gonna pick you up. So she kept saying no and rejecting him, and he was being persistent until she said yes, and she finally caved. My parents were migrant workers. They worked out in the fields. They had to follow wherever there was work. My dad's originally from Culiacan, Sinaloa in Mexico. He grew up in a big family. Very tight-knit community, lots of love. My grandma was, I would say, absolutely smitten with my dad. She loved him so much. When he moved here from Mexico, he went straight to LA, California. My dad moved over here with next to nothing. He had to start off literally from zero coming over here because he just wanted to get away from the violence in his area.
He decided to come over here because around that timing, his brother was actually killed. I guess he was scared that something would happen to him eventually.
As his brother was a victim of gun violence, they never thought that this would be essentially in the Rodriguez's family's future in Pasco, Washington.
I was around 13 when we moved here. We settled down in Pasco. I feel like Pasco was safe. I feel like it was a good place to raise a family. And I feel like my parents felt the same way. My dad always loved Independence Day. He just loved the whole celebration of the fireworks and the barbecues and just family getting together. I feel like that was really important to him. I remember on the 4th of July of that year, I was pregnant. I wasn't feeling well, and I did not want to do anything at all. I remember him saying, let's go see the fireworks. I want to go see the fireworks with you and your sisters. And I just kept saying, I don't feel good. I don't want to go anywhere. He's like, but I'm going to go to Fiesta Foods and I'm going to get something to eat. What do you want?
My dad, he was a good cook, so he would always make some stuff for my sister while he was here.
I remember getting a phone call, and I thought it was my dad, but it wasn't. Someone told me, your dad got shot, you need to get over here. I was like, stop playing with me, who is this? And they're like, no, I'm being serious, your dad got shot, you need to get over here.
And 7-4, we've got lots of calls about a male running around in the street with blood on his face. I believe he got hit in the face with a firework. The most recent calls have been at 15 and Lewis.
20 dispatch, I'm arriving. 15 Lewis.
When I got there, I saw a man that had blood covering his shirt, and I could tell that he had multiple injuries on his face.
Oh my God, Marty!
Oh, they got medics coming to check out. You need to sit down for me, okay?
He had one gunshot wound in the side of his face and his cheek, and I saw that a bullet had also grazed the other side of his face. And I was very concerned for his well-being, and my main focus was to get him to sit down on the curb because I didn't want him to end up passing out from the large amount of blood that was coming out of his mouth.
You just told me that some guy or some people, like some guy shot him or something.
He's advising it's a gunshot wound to the face.
We're staging medics.
I remember getting out of the car and I saw my dad immediately. He was on the floor sitting on the sidewalk, and I tried to run to him, and the police officers weren't letting me go up to him.
Yeah. That's your dad?
They told me there was too much blood and the paramedics were handling the situation, and I remember just being really upset and crying like, what if he dies and you won't let me talk to him?
So right now, the best thing you can do to help him right now, to help your dad, is to talk to me, okay? So you can get to there, and they're going to be giving him the best treatment they can. There's nothing you can do in there, and there's nothing you can do in the hospital yet. You'll be there for him, okay? You're doing the right thing, but I need information right now, okay? So we can try to find what happened to him and find how he got injured, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and move right over here.
Because my dad got shot in the face, he couldn't talk. So he was holding his hand to his cheek, and with his other hand, he was just making little gestures to calm down. And he wasn't telling me, but he was just signaling, like, calm down, it's gonna be okay.
The paramedics arrived on scene to help Jorge. They spent a few minutes providing care to him there, and then they rushed him off to one of our local hospitals.
I got to the car and I immediately called Karen saying, Dad just got shot. You need to go to the hospital. Go get Mom.
My first thoughts were like, is he conscious? Is he not conscious? Is he gonna need surgery? Like, what's going on? Is it that bad? We didn't know what to think at the time.
Jorge was not able to communicate anything prior to being taken to the hospital. He was not able to provide anything as far as what happened.
Where did the rest of this crime take place? Everyone was telling us that a vehicle crash had occurred in the nearby area.
Apparently the victim's vehicle was a black Escalade, should be somewhere east of here, maybe down on 8th Street.
And then when I noticed a blood trail leading from where Jorge had been speaking to us at, I followed that blood trail east toward the intersection of 14th and Lewis at the Los Pinos parking lot.
Law enforcement investigators were able to recognize that there was what appeared to be a recent traffic accident. It was apparent that this black Cadillac Escalade had crashed into the fence between a used car lot and a restaurant called Los Pinos.
When I looked inside the car, I saw blood, I could see grocery bags, and I saw bullet holes. The scene was telling me that Jorge had just been involved in a crash. It was obvious that he had been shot while inside of that vehicle, and then after the vehicle had crashed, he left and walked to where we found him at 15th and Lewis.
The police started asking me, do you know who did this? Did your dad have any enemies? Did he not get along with anybody? I was like, my dad was a great guy. I was like, I don't know who would want to do this.
Once we got to the hospital, Darlene was, traumatized by the situation just because she was the one to see my dad like that.
I was just still really confused. I kept asking, can I get an update? Can you tell me what's going on? They kept telling me, we're not sure. You have to wait for the doctor.
And I think it was after about 10 minutes or so, they were going to fly him out eventually to Spokane, Washington, to Sacred Heart Hospital.
Upon further inspection at the hospital, it was determined that Jorge had been shot in the head. The bullet had pierced his brain and his condition was serious. So therefore, he was airlifted because Sacred Heart is a level 3 trauma center.
Being taken to Sacred Heart in Spokane was going to give him a higher chance of survival. I never thought my dad wouldn't pull through. He was fully conscious at the scene. He looked fine. He was awake. In my head, my dad was going to be okay. I packed him a bag with his favorite cologne, with his clothes, his favorite slippers, socks, and I put it all in a duffel bag. It's going to be all okay the next day. And, it didn't turn out that way. Spokane's about a 2-hour drive from Pasco. When we got there, we went straight to the room. My dad was in the ICU, and he was asleep. They told us that my dad was in a coma. It was pretty severe, and his brain just had no more activity due to lack of oxygen.
Darlene was the one to, communicate with everybody. She's the one that called everybody just to let them know, what happened.
I remember being really mad at everybody, and we're taking it out on the doctors, on the staff. I just kept saying, how did you let this happen? I remember even passing out, and I got admitted because I was pregnant. It was just a really scary time. And we just weren't understanding the severity of it.
We saw security cameras on Los Pinos that pointed directly to the accident scene. So we knew that it more likely than not captured what happened.
The Los Pinos parking lot surveillance footage showed Jorge's vehicle going westbound on Lewis and then crashing into the fence in the parking lot.
They also saw a person come out and exit from the passenger side of the car, and you were able to actually see this person have what appeared to be a weapon that they were putting in their waistband.
The video also showed Jorge get out of the vehicle and begin walking away west in the road to where I later found him. The surveillance video also showed the suspect attempt to remove the vehicle from the crash site, but he was not able to get the vehicle unstuck. So then the video showed him flee the scene.
From slowing down the video, we can actually see what we believe to be the actual gunshot inside the vehicle. Because there is a spark, and then obviously the vehicle is veering to its left and wrecking shortly after. The fact that it's in black and white, it makes it difficult to fully identify our suspect.
As a former FBI agent, I know firsthand that even in the 2020s, 2017 era, cameras, while they're pretty much everywhere, the footage is not always that good. A lot of times it's grainy, it's difficult to identify, especially from further away.
We have a suspect that is seen on security video, but we still have to identify the individual.
Other family members didn't recognize who this person might be. If this was a stranger encounter, where did they meet?
In this case, we knew that he had been grocery shopping at Fiesta Foods. We're able to review the video. We see our victim, Jorge, inside the store, and then we are able to identify the suspect also inside the store at the same time that Jorge was there.
The Fiesta Foods footage showed Jorge shopping, and then it showed the suspect was observing Jorge as he did his shopping.
We weren't able to get a good shot at his face, but we could see from the clothing it was similar.
The video showed when Jorge left the store that the suspect left as well.
It is unknown if they had an encounter out in the parking lot because there wasn't video surveillance available from the parking lot.
We believe that when Jorge was putting away his groceries into his vehicle and getting into his vehicle, the suspect took the opportunity to also get into the vehicle, displaying the handgun to Jorge and forcing Jorge to exit the parking lot and travel westbound on Lewis Street.
The original information was that the suspect had fled the scene and they were pursuing leads and trying to locate this individual that was believed to have been involved.
The police were really great with us. They would let us know whatever was happening next. They would contact Darlene like every so often. They would like assure her pretty much that they weren't going to stop until they try to find this person.
Police released the footage that they were able to get from the CCTV. An anonymous caller said, "I recognize that person."
The person calling in said that this individual told them that they used a .32 caliber handgun and shot somebody in Pasco.
That's an unusual caliber of weapon. And the person that the anonymous caller had identified, Pedro Cadenas, had a juvenile record. And in fact, he looks so similar to the image seen in that CCTV footage. All of it led police to think that this was a very viable lead.
After a certain amount of time at the hospital, the doctor started explaining to us that he just wasn't waking up anymore.
They were trying to tell us that he's brain dead. And there's no going back from that.
The doctors gave us two options. Option one was to pull the plug and put him into hospice care and let him pass away. Or option two was to keep him plugged in, keep a feeding tube on him, and just hope one day he wakes up. My parents were never legally married, so because I was next of kin, I was the one that had to make the big decisions. And it upset me a lot because I just feel like it was just too much for me to be able to handle. Like, I'm suffering the same way everybody else is, and the last thing I want to deal with is being the one to pull the plug.
My dad would always tell us that he would never want to be in a vegetative state. If something were to happen to him, like, he would just want us to, like, let him go.
It really sucks being in a situation like that because you just don't want to accept reality. When they gave us the options, I remember just saying, he doesn't want to live this way. And as hard as it was for the whole family to accept that was my decision.
We decided to just take him to hospice home and live off the rest of his days there.
And I remember talking about it with my mom and my sisters, and we ended up all agreeing. And although it wasn't what the whole family wanted to hear, it was what my immediate family and I decided.
Nobody thinks when they're going to the grocery store, particularly on such a great day, on July 4th, that they would end up being the victim of murder by a stranger. But that's exactly what happened to Jorge Rodriguez, and that really strikes fear in the community because if he had it happen to them, it means it could happen to anybody.
In the aftermath of a shooting like this, the biggest fear as an officer is that the suspect would continue to go out into the community and hurt others. So you want to capture them as quickly as possible.
One of the key witnesses that ended up coming forward was the ex-girlfriend of our suspect. She observed the video sequence at Los Pinos. So combined with his visual picture that was seen on the surveillance video, she was also able to say he also had that same walk.
Pedro's girlfriend tells us that they were at a barbecue in Pasco on the 4th of July, that he showed up with blood on his person. She asked him what happened. His statement to her was, "I had to do it."
When Detective Romero and his team were able to arrest Pedro and get him into custody, it felt good knowing that he was not out in our community. He was not going to be able to hurt additional people.
He was arrested for the assault against Jorge Rodriguez as well as the robbery charges. When Pedro Cadenas was taken into custody, he did not provide any further statements to law enforcement officers.
We'd always go to the arcade for Kimberly's birthday because during the winter, it was always snowing, so we had to go somewhere inside, and that's where she liked to go all the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dad would always make sure we had fun somewhere, especially in that timing. He wouldn't work too much because there was barely any work for the type of work that he would do, but he made it work for all of us. Yeah.
I remember you guys loved going there, but as I got older, I started hating it.
Yeah.
Consider growing up, we didn't have much. It was nice to be able to at least do this for her birthday every year.
Yeah.
Where we used to love going there.
Yeah, we did.
It was about 3 weeks or so after like the incident happened. We were just trying to keep him comfortable. That was the whole point of hospice, just trying to keep them comfortable until the last of their days. It was, I guess, a little heartwarming sometimes because we would grab his hand and we would feel his hand kind of grab us. They told us it could be just little muscle spasms and stuff, but we like to believe it was something else. Just him trying to let us know he was still there.
The doctors would tell us that he couldn't hear us, but something in me told me that he could hear us. I won't say what I said, but I remember telling him something and a teardrop fell from his eye. He heard me. While my dad was in hospice, he wasn't getting better. He was deteriorating day by day, and we can just tell that he was going to pass away soon.
We really didn't know when to leave, when to stay, just because we really didn't know if it was going to be, his last day or something.
I remember my boyfriend had a party at his boss's house. My mom was like, you should go, you need to get out of here. I didn't want to leave because something told me something was going to happen, but they were all insistent that I had to leave and get some fresh air. I remember going home to get ready, and that's when Kimberly called me, my sister, and she told me that he passed away.
Eventually, he just stopped breathing out of nowhere. I wasn't there, unfortunately. I had literally left a couple minutes prior to him passing away.
It was kind of a sense of relief because I honestly don't know how I would have reacted witnessing it.
My mom took my dad's passing a little harder because of the way my younger sister reacted.
The one that was hurt the most was Kimberly.
Sorry.
I remember seeing her and she just got on top of him and she did not want to let him go. She was just sobbing and hugging him, and just seeing her that way made me so sad because as the oldest, her older sister, I was just trying to be strong for her. But I knew I had to be strong for everybody else too, and it just really sucked because I had never seen her that way.
It would have been tragic enough if Jorge had just been carjacked and severely injured by gunfire, but the fact that he was taken off of life support and died. Any evidence that they would have been able to glean from him, from eyewitness identification, that was gone now. And additionally, this turned from an assault and a carjacking into a murder case.
I remember the detective calling to say that an arrest had been made.
They told us who did it, how old he was, pretty much everything that they knew.
Pedro Cadenas was a 17-year-old man. The local police department here had some run-ins with him in the past.
His father died when he was 5. His mother, who was just 17 when she had him, was in and out of prison herself. Pedro was being raised by his older sister, who was just a few years older than him. At age 11, he got into crystal meth, which is one of the most addictive drugs and also very hard for people to essentially manage and function, let alone as a child. So these are not excuses for his behavior, but at the same time, It helps explain how a 17-year-old could go on to commit such a horrific crime.
He wanted to rob my dad, and unfortunately, the situation ended up badly for both of them.
I do believe that he was trying to fight this guy, like in the truck when he was trying to steal it. And I believe that's why he crashed the car, because he wasn't going to let somebody just take his car away, especially the truck that he worked so hard for.
After the arrest was made, this was all over social media. I remember his sister posting that they had a rough upbringing and that's why he did what he did. I understand that they had a rough upbringing, but that doesn't excuse what he did. I feel like a lot of people have a rough upbringing and they don't go around killing people.
He was a complete stranger to us, with somebody like my age, and you know, for him to do something so heinous, it's like, yeah, it was shocking to us.
The days following his death were really hard, with the funeral planning and trying to get everybody together. And then on top of all of that, having to worry about money. We definitely struggled financially to pay for the funeral.
We'll always be like really grateful for like the Mexican community, especially to know that they worked at a field, but everybody gave so much.
They did fundraisers, they did raffles for us. They would put boxes around in all the grocery stores. I knew he had so many friends. I just didn't realize how much he meant to everybody. I remember his coworkers coming up to me and saying that work just wasn't the same anymore, that they missed hearing his cackle and his laugh every day. It felt like he was missing. I feel like just being Mexican at the time made me really proud, because it just showed me how supportive we are to one another, because I don't know what I would have done without everybody's help.
My dad's funeral was beautiful. There was actually a band over there that was playing music also. It was a beautiful thing to see.
It was just a hard day. I remember everybody paid their respects. I was beyond thankful for anybody that showed up, but I just remember it being really hard for me.
His family from Mexico wasn't able to come, unfortunately. So we had to do everything over video chat.
Just hearing another son died that way, like, they just were devastated. Especially knowing that my dad left Mexico not to be killed that way. Shortly after my dad's death, we started noticing that my mom was really sad, but we didn't think much of it just because we were all sad. She started throwing up a lot.
She would get a lot of stomach pains, and I feel like she kind of just ignored it because she had other stuff to worry about.
She would do anything not to go to the hospital. So I forced her to go, and I remember that's pretty much when they told us that she had cancer. And unfortunately, we caught it too late.
So it was pretty hard on us to find out that she was going to have only like months to live. We're like, okay, we're going to go through this again.
Yeah, estaba chingado batallando.
She's like, don't touch it. My dad's like, fuck, don't touch it.
Like my mom was trying to tell us that my dad's like soul was trying to take her.
I remember her telling me that if he was there, he would treat her like a queen. I know he would have been there all the time taking care of her. My mom passed away in October of 2018. The only thing that gives me a little peace of mind is that they're both together now. I really hope that they found each other and that they're happy wherever they are.
It'd be one thing if Pedro Cadenas had shot and killed Jorge Rodriguez and he felt very bad and very remorseful and had begged for forgiveness, but it couldn't have been more opposite. This is a kid that was sort of wanting to live up to this, bad reputation and was doing even more while he was in jail. He was assaulting guards. He was damaging the facility. He was bragging about what he had done, really acting like nothing matters. And if anything, he just wanted to have the street cred of being so bad and really didn't care what type of consequences it brought.
Pedro was arrogant in trial. There was not a sign of remorse on his person.
Pedro Cadenas was staring straight forward. He didn't show any emotion, didn't respond to my testimony or to the video of me speaking with Jorge in any way.
I feel like he just had this smug look in his face that he did nothing wrong. I remember just holding on to a lot of anger those days. He not only hurt me, but he hurt my whole family. He not only took my dad away from me, but he also took away my mom. Because if we weren't so focused on what he caused with my dad, we would have caught what happened to my mom sooner.
We all wanted justice for Jorge because this was one of the most, sinister acts that we had seen, or at least that I had personally witnessed. This person was willing to kill another person over a vehicle. The fact is even more concerning is that it was done by a person that was 17 years of age at the time.
You have a hardworking individual that ends up being a victim of a horrific crime. So in my opinion, this was a very senseless crime committed by Pedro.
After police put together the best case they could with all of the evidence they had collected, a jury was able to return a guilty verdict in just half a day of deliberations on November 26, 2018.
Pedro ruined multiple lives by his actions. He ruined our victim's life, his entire family's life. And it could have been a contributing factor as to why their mother passed early on. Pedro was sentenced to 36 years and 2 months.
You do want to see the perpetrator go away for a really long time. You don't want there to be an opportunity for them to get back out into society. But the legal system is complicated, and 36 years is a very long time to go to prison.
There was a sense of relief, but at the same time, I can't fathom the thought that, in a sense, I feel like he got away with it. Because one day he's still going to be able to walk among us, and I find that so unfair.
It's difficult enough to have people come face to face with a killer in court. It's even worse in this case as the offender is a juvenile. So reconciling all of that in their minds, I'm sure, was extremely difficult.
When a case like this happens as a police officer, you want to say it doesn't affect you at all, or maybe it only affects you a little bit because you want to stay strong. But a case like this does affect you, and it does stay with you. You do remember Jorge bleeding. You do remember his daughter showing up and being hysterical, understandably, at the scene. And you do remember how their family was destroyed. It's
a difficult case to investigate, knowing that it's somebody that's so young. and knowing his actions and what his actions caused. It's one that I won't forget.
My dad, he was 51. He was really young, and then my mom was also super young. I just feel like it wasn't their time. In a sense, our parents babied us a lot, and at the same time, they taught us so much, and they wanted us to do well in life. So in a way, they prepared us, but in a way, it kind of sucked losing them. I just wish they would be here.
We all had children after my dad passed away, so unfortunately my dad was never able to meet any of our kids.
I remember when I told him I was pregnant, he's like, "Is it for sure now?" I had miscarried before, and he's like, "Okay, I don't want you lifting anything heavy. I don't want you running around everywhere, all over the place. Like, you need to lay down."
He was excited. He even went out of his way to, grab some little slippers for his first grandchild.
I feel like my dad would have been such a great grandfather. I feel like I would barely see my kids because my dad would always be taking them. My dad would be showering them with gifts and just always being there for them. I feel like the same way we grew up would be the same way he would treat his grandkids, if not even better.
He's here in spirit, and I know he's watching over them.
Oh my God. Se desespera uno. Oh my God. Nice.
I miss him so much because it'd be nice to just get one more phone call from him and just answer it. Holidays haven't been the same. Birthdays haven't been the same. Any type of gathering hasn't been the same. And I just feel like it'll never be the same again.
I'll always miss those times where we would just hang out. I would come and help out right here in the yard or, just cleaning his truck. I adore my dad. I'll always adore my dad. He's just not here anymore.
The only message I can give others that have gone through something similar is to just keep pushing every day and be strong. You will think about it every day, but you just have to find something in your life that's worth fighting for. And just remember that your loved one would want you to keep going, and remember them and appreciate the life that they didn't get to live.